Well, John, the Oregon Ducks are ready to take center stage. The noisiest venue in the Pac-10. Battle of the unbeatens. Fast break offense will be out first. So Jimmy Harbaugh brings the Stanford Cardinal in here, hoping he can slow down this high-flying Duck offense. On the other side, Chip Kelly, who took the Ducks to the Rose Bowl last year. And as you look back on these two teams, this is the first time, believe it or not, that they have met with both teams ranked, and the Ducks have dominated except for last year. So settle in, everybody. Here we go. Stanford will kick it off, and the Ducks will attack first. Low and returnable. Here's Harris. Harris from the 3-yard line coming out. An improvement already, but not for a whole lot. Good special team tackle that time by Shane Scove, one of their best linebackers for the Cardinal. Empty backfield. Offensive line gives him time. Incomplete. Hurts the intended target. Gilden the defender. Oregon football. And game day must have had a great time coming here.
This was amazing. I mean, every time we come out to Eugene, you come on the air. I first Sports Center hits at 5:30 local, and thousands of people.
Hello, end zone. Won't catch him. LaMichael James, and ladies and gentlemen, right down right now, this young man is a Heisman Trophy candidate. That's a 76-yard burst. That's a 257-yard evening here.
And 3 touchdowns. And you know, that's the thing about Chip Kelly in this offense. If you're out of position just one time, and they make the right read with Darren Thomas, LaMichael James has that home run speed. He hits the crease, and he's to the end zone in a hurry. He's done it every game this year, with the exception of last week against Arizona State. They did a pretty good job of bottling him up, but tonight he gets after this Stanford defense.
It's a great night to be a Duck. But the real Duck is saying, hang on. I got to do 52 more push-ups. Come on, Doug. Come on, baby.
Pressure's on, too, because they're counting him.
And he knows that camera's on him, too. Works out in the weight room here with the football team. Students count him on down, like you said. Come on, Doug. You can do it. I know you can. What did Lee Corso do at the end of it? He did 1 this morning.
Yeah, he's trying to hang on.
Oh, good going. What makes college football so beautiful? The scenes, all the enthusiasm, and the different things that go on. Man.
He's the best shaped Duck they've ever had.
He, though? I ask you. I've been jabbering away here pretty good. What do you make of the AP and Boise State and all that now?
Alabama are really impressive. Ohio State did what they had to do to knock off Illinois on the road. You know, Boise State's going to have to do that. If they want to hold off Oregon and Nebraska and Oklahoma and teams like that, they're going to have to win by 59. I already had Oregon at 3 in my poll in the AP. And it'll be interesting after this performance to see, like you said, if they close the gap. They did close the gap last week on Boise in the poll.
And of course, again, the AP not part of the BCS. I want to quickly point that out. That those of you are thinking about
University of Oregon.
Those of you thinking about it, remember it is the coaches poll that is part.
Timeout number 2. 30-second timeout.
Before we go away tonight, I just want to say one more time about Darren Thomas, because I know we've talked about a lot of different individuals, but boy, the one question mark about Oregon coming into this year was how would they be without Jeremiah Masoli's leadership? And you can see LaMichael James, we knew about him, but Darren Thomas was challenged tonight, down 21-3, and he kept his cool and he answered the bell, running and throwing. And I said in the open, it's not just going to be LaMichael James. Stanford's going to make Thomas run the option, and they're going to make him throw. Is he ready for this challenge? And you can tell by the way he's standing on the sideline, he's pretty happy with himself tonight.
I go back to what Chip said. He was calm in Knoxville. And he said, if you can be calm in front of a crowd of over 100,000 in SEC land, you're okay. And here comes now Taylor, Stephon Taylor. I want to point out something about Stanford, though, before we close up. And yes, they were outscored here in the second half by Chip Kelly in Oregon. This is the second of back-to-back road trips, and I will tell you, you talk to any they would not use it as alibi last night when I offered it. Came to South Bend, came here, and they'd been down to the Rose Bowl where they beat up on UCLA earlier. They have been road. It wears away on you as a football. It'll catch up to you, and it catches up with teams in the NFL too.
Yeah, and this is new for them. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is taking them to uncharted waters for this program, and they've handled it very well. They showed how effective they can be early in this game, and they've battled through some injuries tonight, and they're going to pick up the pieces here, and they're still going to be a team to look out for in the Pac-10.
Got a man open, and a one-hopper. That was Patterson again.
Well, Stanford's not going to go away in this race. Arizona's out there with Mike Stoops doing a great job in Tucson again this year.
The Ducks have to go to USC.
Yes, they do.
The Trojans lost today, the Ducks beat up on them pretty good up here, and that is the Cardinal schedule right there. And USC and Stanford next week in Palo Alto. And the one thing about the Pac-10, I mean, they play everybody. It's the round robin.
That's right.
Most legitimate conference schedule in the land, if you will. Prevent defense. Shot at an interception, dropped down. Hurry, what about the Ducks?
Let's take a look at the Ducks, because I think after winning this game and being ranked up at number 4, people want to see where are their potential slip-ups. At USC that Brent talked about. At California, your Oregon State in a rivalry game on the road, and a big game with Arizona late. That we did that game last year in Tucson, went into overtime. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was double overtime. And then don't forget the Civil War. You want to go over to Corvallis and you're sitting on a chance to go back to the Rose Bowl. You got your hands full in that little neighborhood rivalry, might add. Well, we've had some good times here. Can't beat the Pinos in Oregon.
Oh, you got a pair of shoes out of the deal. You can't beat that.
All I had to do was show up in my Adidas.
That's it.
Whalen across the 35-yard line. That's going to do it. Celebration begins. Here comes Kelly streaking across the field to search out Jim Harbaugh. Let's go down to Aaron with Chip Kelly, and I'll bet he's much happier now than he was at halftime, Aaron.
Yeah, he's still got that same smirk, though, Brent. Hey, despite just the explosion in the second half.
Can you give us a little respect?
Thank you. Despite the explosion in the second half, Chip, let's not forget you were down by 18 points in the first. And early. In your mind, how did you get back in it?
We talk about playing a whole game, and we've been great in the second half of football games because of how we practice. And Stanford's a great football team. Andrew Luck, I said it, I think he's the best quarterback we've ever faced. I don't know if he's the best in the country because I haven't seen anybody else, but I give a lot of credit to our defensive coaches. They made a great adjustment at halftime, and our players just came out and played hard.
Stay on the defense. What adjustment did they make in the second half?
I have no idea. I didn't talk to him. I coach offense.
But yeah, and speaking of your offense, Darren Thomas, you mentioned he's been down before by 10 points. He showed poise, but what impressed you when he was down by 18?
The same thing. We just got to keep playing. We knew that we weren't going to blow this team out. This is a hell of a football team. And it's going to be a battle every week in our league. And we just came out on top today. So
you dominate the conference and you dominate these fans. Chip, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Brent.
Thank you, Aaron. Chip Kelly and the Oregon Ducks, a winner here in Eugene. The final score, 52-31 Oregon. So, Herbie, as we look ahead to the Oregon Ducks, they are definitely going to be a leading contender now for the Pac-10 championship.
Yeah, they're going to be right there, right in the driver's seat after a big win like this against a top 10 program like Stanford. And now it's just about maintaining your composure. And it's a veteran Oregon team. So I think they're going to be a team to look out for throughout the rest of the season. But still a long way to go for the Ducks.